How pumped are people in Western New York about what they're seeing out of this Buffalo Bills team this year?
Well, I'll put it this way. It reminds me back when we played, how excited the city got every time you turn the TV on or radio. People are doing this or doing that, and just try to tell people, don't jump on so many tables. To me, it just it makes me think that too many people are drinking way too much nowadays than they used to do. Well, maybe not quite like we used to do, Mike, but no, they're so excited. I think that, and I've even told people that even though this is a playoff game, wait till the opportunity comes and wait till we get a chance to host a home game here in Buffalo in January. That's when you're going to really see Buffalo Bill fans. But right now, they're ecstatic. They're excited because they know this is a game that we can win.
And, again, built around a high-pick quarterback there in Josh Allen. Certainly does it a little different than the way you did it. He uses his legs a whole lot. The throwing hopefully will improve over the years. If in understanding what he has in front of him, that hype crowd in Buffalo and Buffalo back in the playoffs, how would you tell him to be dealing with this situation?
I think what you got to do as far as game time comes, he just has to know that he can't hold on to the ball like he's used to, because he's accustomed to, if it's not there, to pull it down, run because of his running ability. When they got, J.J. Watt coming back, that's one thing that he knows he's going to have to start throwing more short crossing patterns, not holding on to football and wait for, the 20-yard comeback or the 20-yard square in to come into play, because that's one of the things that J.J. Watt, like his brother, they like to strip quarterbacks. And I know Josh is known to fumble a few times, so he just has to protect the ball. I think if he does a good job of that, gets rid of the football and doesn't hold on to it very long, we have a great opportunity to win this game.
Talking to Hall of Famer Jim Kelly with us in the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. What is the difference year one to year two that you've seen with Josh Allen at quarterback, a guy who they hope is there a lot longer than just 1 or 2 years? But what has the jump looked like from you, who's gotten to see it up close and personal?
Well, I think more than anything, when he does run with the football, he's getting down more. He's getting out of bounds. From that standpoint, I see a big improvement. I think he just has to, because he has such a big arm, he has to use the touch more. He's got it on a crossing pattern, not throw the ball so hard all the time, because what happens when you throw the ball like a rocket, like a missile, like he does almost all the time, your receivers don't have time to adjust to it, and they don't have time to run into the catch and run with it afterwards. So I think he has to just get used to that, and he's still got to improve on his deep ball, because if he gets those two things down, man, the Buffalo Bills is, the way the defense is playing now, if he gets better at doing those, controlling the football as far as getting it to the receivers, we're going to be a hard team to beat. Even though we're, a wild card team, I still think we have great opportunities, but it's all in Josh's hands.
Well, one thing as we're talking to Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback, about the Bills game against the Texans, this Sunday game you can see on ESPN and ABC, is that they'll be in every game. In every one of their losses, you look at the scores, 16-10, 20 or 31-13, they got blown out by the Eagles. Outside of that one, they were in every game. But down the stretch of the season, Jim, you had the big win against the Steelers that essentially punched your ticket, but you lost 3 of the last 4 games for the Bills, including one, a very close game against the Ravens, a close game against the Patriots, and then obviously the last game of the year against the Jets, which really didn't mean anything. They were locked in at that point. But what's your level of concern from where you've seen this team having lost 3 of the last 4 games they've played?
Well, they got some young guys that are not playing the way they should be right now. But I think even with Josh, it's going to take a little time. I know everybody wants to see that playoff caliber type of quarterback each and every week that you see him. He just is not there yet. And but he's playing great football. You never know. I should say he's playing good football. We need him to step it up a little bit, and I'm sure he's the first one to admit it. He's got to make some more plays than he has. But he's a good quarterback, and he makes things happen with his legs. And I think that when you have a defense like the Houston Texans, their secondary is hurt, I think that if he is able to make some plays, not only with his legs, I think he will do that, but makes some of those throws that are downfield as far as the long ones down the sidelines, the deep post. If he makes a couple of those, I think we'll be in good shape. But again, We just got to get what happened in the past out of the way, and he's got to learn to probably control his energy because he's a pumped up quarterback. He's almost like to a point where at times you think he's too excited about the game, but I think he's going to be a good one, but we need his best play coming up this Saturday.
Talking to Jim Kelly, former Buffalo Bills quarterback and Houston Gamblers, first 2 years there, and then 11 with Buffalo. Got that K-gun going, that no huddle that when Jim and I played around at the same time made us throw up as defensive players trying to keep up with that offense, but it's a story for another day, I guess.
Come on.
One of the things, Jim, you're part of that great 83 quarterback class. We're looking at that class of Eli Manning, of Ben Roethlisberger, and of Phillip Rivers. We're seeing Phillip Rivers. He had struggled. Eli Manning benched this year. Ben dealing with the injury. Even looking at Tom Brady and seeing how his play has dropped off a little bit. Coming to the end of your career, when you look from a quarterback position, the most important position on the field, your mortality as a quarterback, as a football player, do you feel it as it's sliding a little bit and recognize that, or is it one of those, hey, I just continue to think I can still play?
No, you know it. I knew when I was at the end of my career, I think I sustained my 5th concussion on my last game I played against Jacksonville in the playoffs. I knew it was time for me to kick back and relax and enjoy life. Pretty much I had no clue what was ahead of me, and unfortunately I think we all know that with my son and everything. But the thing is, you start to realize when it's time to hang up. And I know there's a lot of players, including guys like we all know, Brett, and guys that hang on to it forever because, as you well know, Mike, and both Mikes, you play the game ever since you're a little kid. You don't know anything else. This is what you love to do. You the camaraderie in the locker room, all those great things that come with being a professional athlete.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.